Have you ever lit an old lamp inside an abandoned house? What if that lamp did not only give light, but summon something you never knew existed? Tonight a young woman lights a small lamp and everything in the room begins to change. The sound of someone's breath nearby makes her heart race. And what she sees in that shadow may change her life forever. Light from the little lamp slipped through the old wooden window. Dust filled the air of the room. Soft wind moved through cracks in the wall. The wooden floor felt icy under her bare feet. The young woman crouched under the lamp's glow. Her hand trembled as she opened the old notebook. Letters faded like whispered voices. Her heart pounded loud enough to be heard in the silence. The lamp's shadow swayed on the wall. Shapes like a person moving crept across it. Damp cloth under the table gave off a musty smell. Cold crept into her bones. She lifted her head. The wooden door stood slightly ajar. Dragging footsteps sounded on the veranda. Everything seemed to freeze. The lamp's glow shook harder. A strong gust swept in. She bit her lip until blood rose. Her fingers clutched the lamp as if holding her life. The old notebook fell to the floor. Pages scattered to the corner. A dark figure stood there. No voice answered when she called. Smoke touched her nose, as if something was burning. The little lamp flickered, and she felt another breath close by. Her heart hammered harder than the rain on a tin roof. The breath she thought she felt grew warmer, closer. Every tiny hair on her arms rose like thin needles. She clutched the little lamp so tightly her knuckles turned white. The dark figure in the corner did not move. Yet its outline swelled and shrank with each flicker of light. It looked like a shadow cast by nothing. It looked like a body without a source. She whispered, "Who was there?" Her voice cracked, swallowed by the smell of smoke. No answer came, only the dragging sound again, softer, like cloth scraping wood. She stepped back. Her heel struck the fallen notebook. Paper rasped under her skin. The lamp flame bent sideways as if pointing at the corner. Her mind flashed to the stories her grandmother used to tell. Stories of wandering souls lost in burned houses. Stories of lamps that invited the past into the present. She tried to push the thought away, but it pressed in like a hand on her chest. The figure shifted. It was taller now, its edges frayed like burnt paper. She smelled scorched paint. She wanted to run to the door. But her feet stayed planted as if nailed to the boards. She could feel the floor trembling slightly. Or was it only her own legs shaking? Another page from the notebook flipped open on its own. She saw a drawing, a small lamp just like hers. Beneath it, words she did not remember writing. "Light me and I will return." A gust of wind hissed through the cracked window. The flame leapt high then shrank to a blue pin. The walls groaned as if something heavy pressed against them. She gasped, tasting ash on her tongue. Suddenly the dark figure took a step. No sound of footfall, only the boards creaking under invisible weight. It raised what looked like an arm made of smoke. Her skin felt icy heat, a paradox that burned and froze at once. She swung the lamp instinctively. Light sprayed across the walls. Shadows folded like paper, but the figure came closer. She tried to speak but her throat locked. Air refused to pass. Her lungs felt squeezed. Her eyes watered from the acrid smell of burning fabric. In the dim glow she noticed something on its chest. A small circle of light pulsing like a heartbeat. It looked exactly like the flame in her lamp. It looked like the lamp was shining from inside it. Then she heard a voice, not from the air but from inside her skull. "You lit the lamp," it whispered. "You called me." Its tone was neither male nor female, both tender and terrible. She staggered back until her shoulders hit the wall. Plaster dust crumbled onto her hair. The lamp shook in her grip. She felt its metal burning her palm. "You must put it out," the voice said. "Before the flame grows." She tried to blow on the flame. But the breath she exhaled only fed it, making it flare bright. The room swam in a strange glow. Colors inverted. Wood turned pale, shadows became white. The figure's face surfaced from the darkness. It was her own face, older, eyes hollow like wells. She screamed but no sound came. Her echo came back from the walls a second later. It was not her voice but another's. It said, "Welcome back." Her knees buckled. The lamp slipped and rolled, spilling oil. Flame raced across the floor like liquid light. She leapt aside as heat bloomed against her skin. Smoke thickened, swirling into shapes, people, hands, doors. She glimpsed rooms she had never seen. She smelled the ocean and charred wood at once. Time felt folded, seconds turned to hours. She clawed at the door. The wood under her fingers felt soft, almost breathing. It would not open. She pressed her ear and heard a heartbeat on the other side. Behind her the figure bent down, closer, whispering. "You are holding what remains of me." Its voice trembled like a rope about to snap. "Give it back or stay here." Her grip on the lamp weakened. Its flame now stood tall as a torch though no oil remained. It lit the beams overhead, showing cracks she had never noticed. Each crack looked like an eye watching. She realized the notebook's drawing matched the room exactly. The lamp, the cracks, even the figure. This was not just a story she had read. It was a story she had written and forgotten. Her mind reeled. When? How? She tried to remember but memories tangled like roots. Was she the visitor or the host? The figure stretched its smoky hand to the lamp. Heat surged up her arm, through her heart. Images flashed, fire, screams, a house burning long ago. She saw herself as a child, clutching the same lamp. The realization hit like ice water. She had lit the lamp once before. She had left someone behind in the flames. Now that someone had come to claim her. The walls bent inward. Boards moaned like animals. The lamp's flame shot straight to the ceiling, piercing the darkness. Everything smelled of salt and blood and burned sugar. She dropped the lamp. It struck the floor without a sound, yet the flame stayed floating in midair. It drifted toward the figure. The figure opened its chest to receive it. Light poured into the hollow face. Eyes appeared, then vanished, then multiplied. Voices rose from the floor like steam. They said her name again and again. She stumbled backward until there was no more room. The wall behind her had turned to a cold mirror. In it she saw not herself but 1,000 dim reflections holding lamps. All of them staring, waiting. The flame hovered between her and the figure. It pulsed like a living thing, each beat louder. Her heart tried to match it and failed. She thought it might burst. She reached out a shaking hand. The air around the flame felt heavy as stone. The figure whispered, "Choose." Then silence. Her fingers brushed the flame. It was neither hot nor cold but full of memories. She saw flashes, childhood nights, her grandmother's eyes, a small hand slipping from hers in fire. The guilt she had hidden seared through her chest. The floor cracked open under her. Wind roared up from below carrying ashes and whispers. The lamp's light collapsed inward, pulling the room with it. Shadows bent toward the hole like iron to a magnet. She felt herself sliding. Her nails scraped the boards. She looked up. The figure stood calm, watching. Its face now completely hers, smiling faintly. The hole widened into a staircase of black light. Steps descending into a glowless depth. Her body tilted forward despite her struggle. Something unseen tugged at her wrists. The flame shot past her, down the stair of shadows. It left a trail of sparks like stars falling into a pit. She felt the pull grow stronger. Her heartbeat became the only sound left. She screamed, at last a real sound. It echoed down and came back changed, older, deeper. The figure extended its hand again. This time it looked like an invitation. She stared at it, trembling. If she took it she would follow the flame. If she refused she did not know what would happen. The room flickered between existence and nothing. Her mouth formed words she did not plan. "I lit the lamp. I will finish it." The figure inclined its head as if in respect. The darkness quivered. The figure waited, its hand still outstretched. She drew her hand. For an instant she felt weightless. The room vanished like a page turned. All around her became a wide, silent field of gray light. The lamp hovered between them, small again, just a tiny flame. It no longer burned, it glowed softly, like a heart at rest. She understood without words. This was not a prison but a passage. The figure smiled, her own face, calm, forgiving. "You carried the flame too long," it murmured. "Now you may set it down." She opened her fingers. The lamp drifted up, rising into the gray. Its light spread, dissolving the smoke. The field became warm, filled with a dawn-colored glow. She felt the weight of guilt slip from her shoulders. Tears came, cool and clean,